Well, good morning, gardeners and homesteaders. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and welcome back to Sandy Bottom Homestead, where I got to get this off my chest. It's something that I came across this weekend, and it's very hard. You know, I genuinely care about the gardeners and everything, and I want everybody to be able to grow. But sometimes it seems like the deck is stacked against us. I do want to say real quick that the time of year it is now, the sun is getting higher and the garden is getting a lot more sun, which is very good news for me. So that's really good news for me because I'm surrounded by trees and I just fight to get sun. But I need you to understand where I come from for this and where and how my gardening journey got started. So it's two parts. First part is my grandfather gardened when I was a kid, and I'll get way more into that later because it's a super interesting story, believe it or not. I wish he was still alive to tell you himself. But I grew up and I was watching him garden, helping him, stuff like that. Didn't learn anything though. I was a kid, you know what I'm saying? I was just trying to feed the belly so I could get the championship belt I got. But then the other thing, when I really ramped it up myself, was about 2010. You know, I grew up and the Mayan calendar is going to end and the world's going to come to an end. So I decided, like, hey, if there ever was a problem and I couldn't get food, I want to know how to raise my own food. I wasn't worried about storing it. I just wanted to know how to grow my own food. So that's where my journey started. And then we're going to fast forward all these years later to where we sit today. And you've seen my garden. Over the years, we've built this out. We've got gardens over here and we're doing greenhouses and bees and chickens and all that stuff. And a lot of this knowledge that I've gotten that I use and I pass on to you guys is stuff that I've either done or researched, okay? But it seems like there's always something in my way. And it's not just my way, it's your way. So over the weekend, I was scrolling, and I'm not gonna say the name of the company. I'm gonna let you guys do your homework and figure it out for yourself. But it was a big company, sell seeds worldwide, major box stores, they have them, and they had a post. And I'll try and put a snapshot of it up here. And on that post, it says, if you're in this zone, this is your expected last frost date. Now, I looked at that, and you know what? It was off by 8 weeks, because this is the whole zone conversation. I'm not going to rehash it right now, but you've seen the video, you know that zones don't matter. But this is the problem, is take it as gospel and they pass it on like it isn't going to be, like it has to be this way, and it's a one size fit all, and we know that it's not. But see, that's not just the problem. The idea and the thought process is the problem. So my issue with it is you have a big time seed company and it's spreading misinformation that's confusing people. So it's like, if you're just starting out and you don't really know what you're doing, which is quite all right, because growing food is not easy. Nobody's ever said that like it's the easiest thing in the world to do. But you see somebody that you're supposed to be able to trust, and they're giving you wrong information that if you don't know any better, you're going to go by. And what's this going to cause you to do? I give you one guess. It's going to cause you to plant wrong and kill it and then have to rebuy it. And then they're going to make more money. And that is a problem. And I have a hard time supporting things like that. One thing that I will say is, somebody, I can hear it in the comments right now, well, that was just an employee doing the social media work for the company, this, that, and the other. And it doesn't matter. It does not matter. It is up to them to hire the people to say things right, to encourage people, not to cause doubt and fear and misunderstanding about what's going on. Not to mention it stirred up a bunch of crap in the comments and all that stuff, which is, I mean, dude, we're gardening. What else can we need to do? If you guys have seen anything like this before, let us know in the comments. To information, you don't have to put the company name or anything, but let us know what you've seen like this. It's just crazy. I mean, look, I come to you from a gentleman. I have a YouTube channel. Clearly you're watching it. We have a podcast, the Backyard Gardens podcast, and everything that we say and do is based out of garden knowledge, straight up, nothing else. It's based out of stuff that we've done, we've learned, we've tried, or theories that we try to understand. None of it is just like total conjecture and crap like this. And it's not fair. It's not fair to you, it's not fair for the person that's learning, and it's not fair to the next generation that we should be getting ready to take our spots after we go and get them going into growing their own food too. Because even though I don't talk about it a lot, I still believe in my heart of hearts, within the next 2 generations, maybe 3, people will have to grow their food to some extent to be able to eat a balanced meal. There's always going to be junk food, there's always going to be food swamps, and there's always going to be food deserts. But we want to make sure that our generations can be able to do that. And that's a passion of mine. And that's why I do this, because I look at how old people are that watch this channel. I know that the majority of people are between the ages of 25 and 40. And so those are ripe ages to be having another generation coming right up behind them, that they see their parents out there working, they're going to teach their kids, and their kids are going to do it. And it's going to be this cycle that goes on. And that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So from that post, my garden is 28 days from a last frost date. 28 days. Now, you've watched this channel and you've listened to me talk long enough. Do you think that my garden would be in the state of rebuilding and restructuring and amending the way it is if I was 28 days from my last frost date? Do you not think in your heart of hearts that I would have something planted in every single one of these beds, considering what I do and talk about and how I am? I mean, let's think about that. Maybe they got a crystal ball and I don't know, and they're just saying, hey, you know what? They're changing it all together. And if you live in zone 8B, then across the board, you're gonna have no frost at February 28th, end of story. Cut it out, man. That's not gonna happen. I don't really like doing stuff like this, like these kinds of videos and whatnot, but it just felt really passionate about it, and I felt like I had to speak up and say my piece. And the reason why I feel comfortable doing that on this platform is simply because you guys are part of the solution. You're already doing your homework. You're already trying it. I look at the comments. You guys are actively out there working. You try to start things earlier. You try and adjust your seed dates. You're getting seed starting schedules because you want to learn. You're watching videos, be it me, somebody else. I don't know what else you watch. Well, I do know to an extent what people watch, but not as a whole, like you individually. But I see that people are watching these channels and they're trying to learn, and that makes you part of the solution, which means that these posts shouldn't really be affecting you, or you either are smart enough, and I truly believe this, that you're smart enough to look at that and say, I got to check that out and I got to make sure that's right, because that looks either too good to be true or it's just wrong. And that's awesome, you know. And when you see stuff like this, don't be scared to speak up, because yeah, you know what, somebody's gonna cuss at you, somebody's gonna yell at you. I spoke up on the post and somebody called me an idiot and told me to check my zip code, like I don't know what my last frost date is. I know what my last frost date is. I know what a lot of people's last frost dates are because of the seed starting schedules I've done, and I've seen how drastically it changes by zone. And I've seen the planting schedules from somebody in my zone and somewhere else in my zone here, and it's totally different planting. So it's like, you know, you get yelled at, you get cussed at, people treat you like crap, but in the grand scheme of things, all I'm trying to do, and what we should be trying to do, is squash that false information and help people find the right direction. Even if it's just a comment saying like, hey, this seems off, this, you know, my frost date is 2 months later, like that's enough for somebody to see, like, hold up, is that true? Let me go check. Or hey, how do I check? And then you can help them. And that's how it starts, because one thing that we've wanted to do with all of our platforms is definitely, and especially here, is create a community for people that you can trust, right? And once your knowledge builds up and you get better and better and better at gardening in your area, then we can start helping other people out. We can start doing these things, and your experiences will help. And everybody starts at zero. Everybody starts at zero. The only thing I think everybody's ever done is planted a bean seed and for school, you know, and watched it grow to about this big and then die because you don't water it. Other than that, like, we all start at zero and we work our way up, and nobody's ever an expert at this. I mean, I just find that hard to believe, that at any time I could go anywhere and just get anything done and be like, yeah, this is it, blah, 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 and fix it. Like, sometimes it's guesswork and we go back and we do it. But when these large companies are spreading false information, that invariably is going to cause you to spend more money with them because they steered you down a wrong path. In my mind, that's a criminal and that's a travesty to the gardener. And I just hope that we all can not fall victim to that.